Hello, this is Superintendent Art Sathoff. I want to wish everyone a safe and happy holiday weekend this upcoming Independence Day weekend, and take this opportunity too to give you an update on our Return to Learn planning. We have submitted our assurances to the Department of Education, and planning continues. And I just want to talk a little bit about some of the Return to Learn scenarios and the steps we're taking. There are three different Return to Learn scenarios, and we're planning for each one of those. The first is called on-site, and this would be having students in school on a normal schedule with added precautions. Now, in this scenario, there would be some students, I'm sure, with underlying medical conditions that may not be able to return right away and would have to be served remotely. There's a hybrid scenario, which would be a combination of the on-site and the remote. Students possibly, for example, would be in school 3 to 4 days a week, and there would have to be some time for teachers to do planning and delivery of remote instruction in the hybrid scenario. That is a scenario that I know gets complicated for the schools with transportation and staffing, and especially for the parents, if they needed to have childcare 1 or 2 days a week, for example. But that is a scenario we're planning for if that becomes necessary. And then the third scenario is remote instruction. This would be similar to the remote continuous learning we had in the spring, except that it would be required as opposed to voluntary. Much of it would still be electronic, utilizing class pages and other means. Teachers could be using Zoom, emailing students. There also could be some hard copy materials that were available, particularly probably for lower elementary. I think as we all experienced this spring, there are some things that could be pretty good with remote learning, but there are definitely challenges too, and that would be something we would only do if necessary. Infrastructure is a key consideration, making sure that students have equitable access to the curriculum and to what's being planned. In light of that, we are expanding our digital learning environment. We are going to be making a device available to every student pre-K through 12. Currently, we have devices available to students grades 6 through 12. We do have an order put in, but as you can imagine, throughout the nation, there are many, many schools throughout the nation ordering devices for students. So there is a delay in receiving those devices. We're looking at probably mid-September as the best guess right now. The plan is to have preschool students have an iPad available, and students in grades kindergarten through 5 some form of Chromebook. So those plans are underway. We had already had a great commitment as a district to technology integration and digital learning. So this really probably speeded up our timetable a bit, but it's a fairly natural progression to what we were already working on. Health and safety, of course, is on everyone's minds, and we are doing a lot of planning and conversing about what we can do to safely serve our students and staff. Hygiene, of course, is at the top of the list as you're trying to stay safe any year, even pre-COVID-19. So we'll be stressing hand washing, have signage, and intentionally doing that, especially with our younger students, but encouraging it for everybody. We'll be adding hand sanitizer stations throughout school buildings, whereas in the past maybe a teacher had a thing of hand sanitizer, or a student brought hand sanitizer with them. That can still happen, but we are going to be adding hand sanitizing stations, particularly at entrances and exits and in areas where there isn't soap and water readily available. We also are talking about limiting visitors and screening visitors and what we can do on that front. In terms of cleaning, we have hydrostatic sprayers and sanitizers. We have a couple in the district right now, and they do work well. And we have more ordered in terms of that, sanitizing the building off hours when people aren't in the building. We also are very conscious of cleaning those high-touch surfaces frequently. So there will be a sanitizer, a spray bottle available with safe product, and the thought is that whenever there's going to be a little period of time, 10 minutes or more, when students are out of the classroom, that we need to be sanitizing those high-touch surfaces as well. There are other prevention measures as well. We're going to be encouraging staff and families to do at-home screening, and just to emphasize, do not come to school if you're sick. If you have a temperature of 100.4 degrees or more, if you're exhibiting other symptoms, please don't come to school if you're sick, or come to work if you're sick. We're going to have increased ability to take temperatures at school. We have a couple hundred touchless thermometers ordered. We are making plans to be able to isolate ill students and follow up and track their progress and their well-being. The Department of Public Health will help with contact tracing if there were a positive result. So we would know areas that we needed to potentially shut down for the short term and sanitize. Masks will be allowed, but not required. We think it would be extremely difficult to require that, particularly with younger students, and to make available the number of masks that we would have to. But certainly we would respect people's desire if they did choose to wear a mask. We'll do physical distancing as possible. We are having conversations about traffic patterns within the school, classroom activities. You could have designated entrances and exits for certain grade levels, for example. So we will definitely do what we can do with that. The start dates currently are set as August 4th for Irving, our year-round program, and August 25th for our traditional calendar sites. We have been surveying families and staff. We have been following and considering guidance from the state and public health and other entities. And our goal is always to keep people safe and to serve them as well as we can. As superintendent, I thank you for the opportunity to serve you. I thank you for your support and understanding in what's a really challenging time for everybody. So we will continue to provide updates as we go along. And I just want to let you know the things that we're working on specifically. So again, I hope you have a safe and happy holiday, and I hope you're keeping well, and look forward to the day when we get everybody back at school. Thank you.